Hello and welcome to the Metapod Podcast, the Pokemon TCG podcast that revolves around the evolving meta. My name is Jake and that's Sean. We're 2 weeks, so two weeks? Is it?
Yeah.
It's like 1.5, right?
Yeah, it's like one and I mean, I'll be in Anaheim in like 9 days. So yeah.
9 days? Are you going early?
I'm flying in on Wednesday.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, we're driving on like first thing Thursday morning.
Yeah.
We're driving because it's
Picking up my
only
ticket.
5-6 hours.
Oh yeah. I'm picking up my ticket Thursday, Thursday morning, and then I got my Pokemon Center reservation Thursday at 11. So coming from the
Oh,
East
you
Coast,
have it on Thursday.
Yeah, getting in early, Jake, getting all the good products. It's gonna be sold out.
Yeah. Interesting. I was gonna actually ask you, or try to figure out myself. So I guess some of the other listeners may be curious. I didn't know if I'd be able to pick up my spectator, pass and whatnot on Thursday, but I mean, you just confirmed it.
Well,
So
my spectator pass is in conjunction with a competitor badge.
oh yeah, that's right. I do
Yes.
remember you saying that. Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, I guess actually you don't need. One of the things I guess I forgot is you don't need a spectator badge for the Pokemon Center.
you don't?
No, yeah. I forgot about that.
I do think the link that they sent out where I registered for the Pokemon Center was technically
Mhm.
like a link that they gave to competitors
Yeah.
earlier, like a day or two earlier. So in
Mhm.
theory, if it got shared out beyond that, then that's like fine. It's up to but I think that was how they were like benefiting the competitor scene, which is like, here's a special link just for you early, I think.
Yeah, as well, I feel like I guess I don't know. I was gonna say I thought I saw Rahul already complaining about priority registration or whatnot to the Pokemon Center, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe it was something else. But as long as I get a deck box from the Pokemon Center, that's all that I want. That's all that I care about. That's
I
it.
think you'll be good.
I hope so. You never know these days. My Pokemon Center is at like 11 a.m. on Friday, I think. So I
Oh,
wanted to do it on Friday. I didn't want to worry about it on my travel day.
I think that's fair. You don't want to get caught in traffic and be like, I missed my Pokemon Center day. That would suck.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I mean, for me, like I will be in Anaheim quite a bit earlier.
Mhm.
So it's kind of weird. I have not done any planning other than I know what my hotel is and I know my flight, and that's it.
Yeah, that's all. That's like all that I know right now. I'm not even thinking about like decks or, cards. I got to think of so I got to start for all our video listeners. If you find me at the World Championships, sign one of my bulk cards that I have. I will have Pokemon cards, I promise. Not just One Piece cards, but if you take a One Piece card and you sign it, I don't think I have like uber amounts of Metapod, but if you come up to me with a Metapod and you sign it, I will take it and put it on the wall.
I opened some simplified Chinese packs the other day,
Ooh.
actually. And I did pull 2 Metapods, which I will probably be bringing some Metapods as well, if people are so inclined. I don't want to say it, but I have some very special Metapods, let's say, that I might
have
bring a few copies of.
I'm going to spoiler alert. I'm going to make Sean sign my PSA 1 Metapod that I have.
Are you going to make me? I'm not
Forget
cracking the
the-
slab. I'm not
Forget the
cracking
one that Sean gave me for Christmas several years ago where we have a matching pair. No, I'm going to get him to sign the PSA 1. That's what I'm going to do.
By just signing you're going to have like it in a pouch, right? So I'm just signing the pouch.
No, you're signing the frame.
I'm just signing okay.
Yeah, you're signing the actual slab. No, if you think I'm ever getting rid of it, you're wrong.
I know, but Jake, there's like only a pop. It's like a pop, 4 or something.
And now it's going to be a pop 1.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
You've only ever signed 1.
Yeah. Yes, I have only
that
ever
is
signed
actually
one PSA 1.
It is actually more valuable now because we are one of the longest standing Pokemon TCG podcasts that revolves around the evolving meta.
It's true.
Going 5+ years now.
I mean, speaking of our commitment to the Metapod, keen-eyed viewers might have seen something on
Audio listeners. Sucks for you guys.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have seen anything.
Audio listeners can imagine, but
Yes.
I got a tattoo over the weekend. I have not posted it anywhere. I think I technically added it to my story on Instagram, but that's that doesn't really count. But I got a tattoo, and Jake, I sent it to you. You tell the fine people what my personal very first tattoo is.
Sean's very first tattoo is a pixel version of Metapod. I assume that this is like one of the exact like pixel sprites that you can see like in Fire Red Leaf Green or something like that.
Yeah, some
But
people at the store were like, I think it's a Heart Gold Soul Silver pixel sprite. And I'm like, sure.
sure, trust you on that.
It was
But
a
it
Google
looks
image
really
search.
good. Yeah, it looks really nice. Sean officially getting a Metapod tattoo, putting down on me. And this was, let me tell you guys that this was also like out of nowhere on a random Sunday morning. I just get this text and it's a Metapod tattoo. And I was like, wait, do I have to go out right now? Like it just I will get one. I don't know where or how big or whatever, but I'll get one because I have a couple tattoos. What's another one?
Yeah, Jake
You
Jake
know,
does
and
have a couple pretty large, impressive tattoos from what I know.
well, yeah, because you've never seen them in person.
I've never seen
Actually,
you in person, Jake.
I mean my 7 foot self.
I know, it's crazy.
You'll see my whole 7 feet in a couple weeks. But anyways, yeah, so that was really cool. I think in the editing, I'll put it on screen for all the
I have it.
visual viewers. The
I have it
picture.
on the screen, but
Oh,
right now,
never
so people
mind.
can
Thank you
see.
for editing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
thank you
free
for
editing, you know. But for the listeners out there, you'll just have to go check out the YouTube. Maybe I'll post it in the Discord after this comes out. You know what? I'll probably do
Come
that.
see it at Worlds and sign it.
Yeah,
Come sign it at
no,
Worlds.
No, I don't want people signing my arm. But definitely, if you see somebody walking around Worlds with a Metapod tattoo, I'm gonna go out on a limb, Jake, and say it's probably me. I don't
That
know.
would be really funny
Yep.
if I got the same exact Metapod tattoo, same spot, same size, to throw everybody off.
Yeah, you'll
Just
never be
kidding.
able to tell us apart.
I might put I'll think about where I want it. Anyways, we've got some stuff going on. There's been some news this week. Next week, we'll be talking about World Championship predictions, right? Because it is the last podcast episode before the World Championships. So we're going to go over a bunch of news that happened, an assortment of news, and then talk about some things that maybe we wish were different about the game. But to start it all off, Uniqlo is doing a first ever Pokemon TCG conglomeration collaboration. Say that 5 times fast. They've done Pokemon stuff in the past, but not specifically the Pokemon trading card game. So on August 11th, a collection of themed t-shirts and sweatshirts will release through their website and and physical stores. It'll be in 25 countries, the US, UK, and Japan. It is artwork of both the regular physical trading card game that we know and love or Pocket, which I think is really, really cool. So getting Pocket involved in that, I really like that.
Yeah, they have looking at a few of the shirts now. There's a Pikachu shirt, which features the illustrations from a variety of different Pikachu cards in the outline of a Pikachu. So it's sort of
reminds me of the Pikachu v Union.
Oh, yeah, it does. Except it's not as well integrated. It's just like squares, like rectangles.
Yeah.
But the OG Pikachu is in there. If anybody, all the Chonkachu fans out there, like old school, is this now? My question is, what's the rare one? Is it the red cheek Pikachu? Is that the rarer one?
Well, that was like a misprint, I'm pretty sure,
so it does not
back
have
in the day. Yeah.
But yeah, so they got a Pikachu. They have... Okay, this Magikarp one is kind of wild, Jake.
Oh, yeah.
It says Expert Splasher. It has a Magikarp. It says 10 plus, because that's the damage that I guess Magikarp does with Splash. And the only way that you would actually know this is a Pokemon TCG reference is the little water symbol on the left, and then the tiny little card. There's like a weird card that's like at a very weird angle right underneath it where like the Magikarp theoretically jumped out of the card.
It also, in the bottom right side, has it has 3 different Pokemon card backs on it. And I think, maybe I'm wrong about this.
Those are the 3 card backs: the original Japanese, the original
Yeah.
English, and then the new Japanese.
Which I think is really cool that they have all three of them. And all of these designs, it looks like, at least the ones that have the front facing, or maybe not, yeah, they all have those three,
Yep.
which I think is really interesting.
I mean, the Slowpoke one, it kind of slaps. Honestly, the Slowpoke one is dope. It's just a tiny
It's
image
so funny.
of Slowpoke with
It is
like,
the fossil slowpoke. If you don't know that one, it is just the slowpoke in the field with the clouds in the back.
yep, it looks like a Windows 95. What's the pixel, like the art program for Windows?
Pixel art program for
Like
Paint?
the program that you would have on Windows where you could draw. Paint.
Paint?
It looks
Yeah.
like an MS Paint Slowpoke image. It's great.
And some of the other designs, like they have the immersive Mewtwo from Pokemon Pocket, right? Where he's like breaking out of the glass. It's like one of their sweatshirts, which I think is really, really cool. The one thing that I kind of wish in a lot of these shirts is in just about all of these shirts, like the Magikarp, the Slowpoke, the Little Omnite, which I adore, love, the Mewtwo, they have the attack names, power, and energy cost all on there. And I'm like, I wish that it didn't have that. I'll be honest.
I mean, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a look they're going for. I think sometimes with the simpler ones it works. Like honestly, like the tiny Slowpoke one, because the text is so small, it's just
Yeah.
2 dots, tail whip 30, and I'm like, I'm here for it. But yeah, I agree
And
that
like
when
the
you get
Magikarp having like the expert splasher name, it kind of just feels like the design, like it flows really well. Like they're killing it with that one.
the Mewtwo immersive one, I would agree though is very weird in that like the art, it's all black and white on this image, which is a
Yeah.
little funky because it's supposed to be like this immersive, gorgeous, colorful, and it's kind of like this grayscale thing. And then to have the things underneath it, it just is like a wah wah.
But like right next to it, they have the Gengar from
The Gengar
Pokemon
is
Pocket,
dope.
right? The Gengar alternate art. And I'm okay with the attacks and stuff on there because it's like it's part of the art. It's not like awkwardly put to the side. Like
Yep.
it's not like I don't know. I feel like one of the first things that I look at in the Mewtwo one is just the text down there and these energy symbols.
Yeah. Some of them
So odd.
translated really well. I will say I don't love the Mega Lucario and Mega Gardevoir ones. They look like clip art that was thrown on the back of a white tee, if I'm
Mhm.
honest. Like, I get it. They want to promote their new set. Like, fine, whatever. But the Gengar is really cool, though. There's Gengar on a sweater. I know this is great podcast material because people are just listening and they can't see what we're looking at, but TLDR, there's a few bangers in the set and then a few stinkers. And I can't
This
immediately
is
tell which ones are going to be adults and kids. They do actually lay it out.
Yeah,
So,
I think this is also the first time that there is official merchandise that is Pokemon TCG Pocket. That is like
yep.
the cards themselves. Although, like, it's not really the cards themselves.
We did get those
Or did
fake immersive art things that are like several layers.
Oh, you know what? You're right. You're right. I lied.
We did
Yeah.
get, but I will say that's like trying to make the digital card real. This is like trying to put the art out of situ, like out of the
Mhm.
typical place that you would see it, which is a card, and putting it onto a shirt. And I will also say this might be one of the first times we've seen regular TCG art and design on merch on a car. On like
It's definitely not that
clothes.
often.
So this
Yeah.
is also very cool. I will say, version 2 of this, give me some trading card game, Game Boy Color art and sprites and
That'd be
designs.
good.
That would be
Yeah.
that's version 2.
I still have my copy on Game Boy Color that I play every so often.
Yep, that's a 30th
Sometimes I hook it
anniversary
up to sometimes I hook it up to the GameCube, play it on the big screen.
all 10 pixels.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Uniqlo thing. It is going to be arriving August 11th. So actually, there might be people, maybe me, who rock in one or two of these for World Championships. So I
Mhm.
might have to swing by Uniqlo and see if I can pick something up.
Another part, the Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia came out this past weekend. I almost got a box at a card show that I went to. I went to like a small card show here in Vegas. I posted in the Discord that which you can join in the link in the description below in the show notes or the YouTube description to join our official Metapod Discord server to see what I got. But in that said, if you do not know, they introduced these brand new gold cards, right? In the like big chase cards, you could get the gigantic gold Gardevoir, Mega Gardevoir, or Mega Lucario in there. And we have feelings about them, uh, but these are better than Rainbow Rares.
Yes, these are better than the Rainbow Rares. And in my opinion, they're also better than the black and white monocolor rares. At least,
Like Black Bull, White Flare?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm personally not a huge fan of those. I think that the Zekrom one, in theory, looks really interesting, but that's my personal opinion. If you love them, that's fine. But I will say, Jake, you also are a big One Piece person, and the style of these cards, the printing style, is very reminiscent of what One Piece has done recently with a couple of their ultra rare Luffy cards.
So the big thing about this is the texturing and the depth looks really, really good on these cards. And I haven't seen these in person. I did not see either one of these cards at the card show. There's another card show here in Vegas this upcoming weekend, and I'm looking to maybe see like that card in person, if I can find it over there. But I think these cards look really pretty. I was definitely not high on them when we first talked about it in the Discord server because I was like, they kind of remind me of Rainbow Rares, but seeing a lot more pictures of like their depth, the texture, how the hollow pattern goes, it looks like a really pretty card, at least on camera, whether that's pictures or videos that I've seen. So I love these. These are cool chase cards.
Yeah, I mean, they'll definitely stand out. When you pull them, it won't be like, because I will say, pulling gold versions of cards in the past, it's not bad. They don't look bad. But I think the style of gold cards previously had kind of like run its course. Like, they'd been doing
there's
it for
like too many of them.
right. They'd been doing that style of full art gold cards for 6-7 years or more. And they look fine and they're cool, but you don't pull it and think to yourself, whoa, what is this thing that I'm looking at? And to your point, the level of texturing, I don't know if it would be technically like embossing almost, but like the real
I think that's a good way to at least like describe it.
yeah, the real depth that you will see on these cards, you'll be able to like, in theory, feel the images, the shapes. And so I think this will definitely stand out for people of like, whoa, okay, this is different. This is, so yeah.
These new cards are also being labeled as mega ultra rares. If you see the bottom corner, the rarity typing MUR, it's a mega ultra rare. So this is probably implying a little bit of scarcity and only being given out to like this rarity of card only really being given out to like a poster child of it. So like in the Mega Symphonia, Gardevoir is the cover of that. Boom. Lucario, boom. We'll probably get both of them in our first set, but that's just because it's a combined thing. But it's not going to be like how it used to be like in Sun and Moon, where there's like 15 different, rainbow max rarity cards every single set. This is going to be a much more exclusive group, which I really actually like.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if this article from Poke Beach talks about how rare they are, but my guess is that they are as rare, if not rarer, than an SIR.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have specific rarities, but, you also talk about like the special illustration rares that are in the set. You talk about the different regular illustration rares and the item full art cards now.
Mhm.
Not going with gold anymore, more colors, more pizzazz in those pops. Which, by the way, did you know that Night Stretcher is now a $4 card?
Oh my gosh.
A $4 common. That's insane.
Well,
Can't
I
believe
mean,
it. Anyways,
my hope is that more of these prize packs will put more Night Stretchers into the world.
yeah. Anyways, so really, really cool stuff in terms of this set. It's really neat. And now that it's officially out, it'll be really cool. And the Poke Beach article as well has like a chart of what everything's selling for after like opening weekend, and they'll decline the longer that it takes for you to see them. But
I will also say, I don't know, Jake, if you had a chance to see the Lieutenant Surge special illustration rare, but I love this style. This style is kind of dope. It's very different than a typical SIR. And at least in Japan, it's only $5. So if you really like this illustration style, a $5 SIR, even if it's Japanese, that is a pretty good deal. It's in the article that I sent. It's just a little further down.
yeah, it's the illustrator Osare is on there. They're the one that did the special illustration Tatsugiri,
Oh, I
with all the little Tatsugiris on them. They also did the Peturunt EX illustration rare. So they have a couple like really cool cards, and I mean Lieutenant Surge is not the prettiest of the members in Pokemon, and he's lifting weights. So this is a really nice card in my opinion to get at like a super cheap cost. You probably won't be excited to get it out of your packs or whatever, but buying it as a single, go ahead.
$5 is especially on release. $5. That's pretty good. That's a good deal. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Jake, there was some news that happened, I think, after we wrapped up the recording. I don't know if we talked about this, but the in the world of TCG Pocket, which we're not deep in anymore, but there was a little bit of scandal that occurred over the last week where a Pokemon artist, a fan artist, I should say, discovered that the immersive rare for the Ho-Oh EX in the most recent set, that the Ho-Oh
Both the
itself,
Lugia and the Ho-Oh.
oh, they both, okay.
It's both of them, yeah.
That the Lugia and the Ho-Oh had been traced from their art. Initially, it wasn't clear how this had happened, but Pokemon has finally issued a statement that the fault lies not with the artist, but entirely on them for supplying the artist with improper or incorrect reference art. So, I'm sure someone at the Pokemon Company or at Creatures was going through looking for reference art to give for this, pulled these images inadvertently somehow, and the artist was just doing their job. So that is the official line from Creatures and the Pokemon Company, which, props to them for not letting the artist take the fall for this. I think that's actually pretty impressive. Maybe not for Japan, but for the rest of the world, it's a pretty impressive thing for them to do.
Yeah, I mean, I just I saw not too long ago a popular shonen manga series just got axed because of the realizations of tracing, right? So a very serious manner, and that's why kind of this news exploded in a sense. And if you got the immersive rare in Pocket, you can see clips of it online and stuff. It literally just says, like, it's a blank card that has the attacks, the health, energy symbol, whatever, but the art is gone, and it just says coming soon on it, which is really interesting. And yeah, I mean, especially, when materials given to you are not enough inspiration to be able to create something, right? For anyone who knows drawing, you'll go out and you'll try to find your best guess of like official materials or something like that to be able to do it. So really interesting that Pokemon has backed up the illustrators so much, which I find really cool, as you were saying.
Yeah, no, it shows how much they respect the artists, which I can't, not a huge dig, but I can't necessarily say the same for other trading card game accessory makers. I know that you don't follow the world of Magic, Jake, but an artist who I have a playmat of theirs, the person that designed the artwork for the Edge of Eternity's booster boxes, the collector boxes, they had their artwork was put on a deck box from Ultra Pro. And Ultra Pro,
Oh, I saw that Ultra
oh,
Pro's in hot water right
yeah.
now.
So what happened was they needed the image to wrap around the side. Well, obviously, this artist Schmandrew did not design this for a deck box, right? Like, it was just key art that Wizards was giving to their partners. So instead of asking the artist, hey, could you add a little bit more design? Ultra Pro was like, AI can do this. And they just used AI to fill in the whole side of the deck box. And I'm sure they were like, who's going to notice? And the answer is the artist, the person who drew the thing is going to notice.
And so if you already hated Ultra Pro because they make terrible Pokemon playmats and products because they just copy and paste the key visual of Pokemon and have no uniqueness whatsoever, well, now they're going to AI. So it actually did get worse somehow.
Yeah. Man, it's funny. I'm just like, it's not funny, but it's funny because it's just like,
it's just wild.
The artist said, look, I would have done it for a couple $100, but nobody reached out to me. Like, come on. And
it's not that hard. Ultra Pro's not hurting for money.
But shout out to the Pokemon Company because they are doing things the right way. So that is, even more reason to be in it for the art. A couple of yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you're in it for the art of the championship cards for the Pokemon Championships, the Celebration Fanfare promo has been revealed for the 2024-25 season. So in Japan, players who have earned at least 30 championship points over the course of the season will receive this card in the mail. They've been doing this for several years now, and is it assumed or confirmed that we will be getting these as part of the Ace Trainer program?
I don't know if it's confirmed. I don't know.
Anyways, this is the 5th version of this card, and it usually encapsulates a lot of the meta decks within the year, right? There's Dragapult in here. Dragapult's real big. There's a Budew on this card. Clefairy, right? Clefairy EX being a cool thing. Ho-Oh, Ethan's Ho-Oh, Darumaka, and Darumaka Mewtwo, Rocket's Mewtwo. So really just kind of encapsulating the theme of that year. And so now it's on a new card, which is cool.
It reminds me, though, this one, the Family Guy meme when everybody's putting their hands in, and at the end, Peter's like, no, not you, not you.
No.
I look at the Budew here, and I'm imagining everyone in this card being like, no, not you, not you.
Oh, because everybody hates Budew.
Yes.
Is that the card that we burn when it rotates?
I mean,
is that already decided?
I mean, it's a top contender. Yeah, to be honest. Like, don't get me wrong, I actually think it's generally fine. Boy, howdy, has it made for some salty games.
Yeah, it definitely has. No confirmation if it will be... no confirmation if it'll be in the Ace Trainer program, like I mentioned, but it's kind of interesting this year because in the past years, if you look at the pictures, they're mostly like all meta relevant cards, where this one in specific, I think, is geared a little bit more towards poster childs of sets rather than meta decks, right? Because although Mewtwo was really, really cool, not necessarily I would call an overly great meta deck. Ethan's Ho-Oh, not really seen any play at all, right? Like even like En's Darumaka, right? With Enzorark was not super crazy, but was definitely a poster child when they announced that Journey Together and that Trainers Pokemon era was coming out, built a lot of hype.
Yeah, no Gardevoir is criminal.
Yeah, no Gardevoir on here is crazy.
Like,
and
you made space for Darumaka, but not Gardevoir. That's why.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look at the past years as well. I'm not seeing like, I do see a Kirlia back in 2023.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like probably, I would say, in 2026, when the Mega Pokemon are on there, we'll see either Lucario or Gardevoir, probably.
I mean,
I bet it's Lucario.
I bet it's Lucario. Gardevoir EX is rotating. It's probably going to be Lucario because Gardevoir EX is rotating before next year's Worlds.
Well, we still have Mega Gardevoir.
Yeah, but ain't nobody going to play that without Gardevoir
Are
yet.
you sure? Are
Uh,
you sure?
how? Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do? Use Zatu? No.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet,
I
but I'm
just.
sure Henry Chow has.
um. So a couple of more news articles here. Oh, this is actually a revision. So
Hmm.
last week we were, contemplating as to whether or not the Mega Evolution packs, like how many of them will contain code cards versus an energy card. And apparently that was just a misread, misprint, whatever you want to call it. TPCI corrected everyone and said, nope, the Mega Evolution packs will still contain a code card and an energy card.
Yeah.
Yep.
So backtracking on that completely, they did not say about boxes though.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like that they will no longer be in the boxed products, which I find to be very interesting, right? As promos come in those boxes and things like that you can usually redeem. But very nice. I like that the energy and the code card are still in the packs,
Yeah.
because I think that's kind of just one of the things that you should have. I think the only thing that I would do is like get rid of the energy card. Kind of like how, yeah, I mean, when One Piece first started, they had Dawn in every single pack for the first 3 sets, but then pretty much everybody has Dawn at that point. And, you know, you can say the same thing for energy, but they always change up the energy design every single era, you could say. So that's one of the good reasons why, you know, they have energies in every single pack, every single set for the rest of time.
I think it also speaks to their desire to maintain a very casual player base as well.
Yeah.
And including energy in every pack is like, oh, you'll always have what you need for any, and that's like, okay, fair enough. Last little piece of news is we do have the full set list for Prize Pack 7. Did we talk about this last week, Jake? I don't think so.
No, but I posted it in our Discord server, the official Metapod.
Yeah. But, I mean, the main things here, we will continue to get Fezandipity, which is important. So keep an eye out for that. But you could also get Badoo and Joltik as a holo, which is really cool. So if for whatever reason you didn't go out and grab Master Ball Badoos like I did, and you want a holo version, this is a great place to get them. And then there's also going to be stamped versions of the evolutions. So more scalper bait. Woo!
Umbreon. Well, it's going to be much harder to scalp, I feel like, because stores, well, they technically can't sell it. Who says that they won't? But
technically, McDonald's couldn't sell you a case of those cards either. But
yeah, that's true. But
eBay begs to differ.
Looking at the list, it's got a lot of reprints of like Twilight Masquerade, Surging Sparks, Scarlet, or not Scarlet Crown, Stellar Crown, I think has some in here as well as some ace specs, right? Like Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher is once again in this set. Sparkling Crystal is in here as a promo card. I'm trying to look, what is the box? What's the box?
Secret box?
Secret box.
Is
yeah.
not.
I'm trying to, no, it's not in there.
So
okay, so no secret box.
Everybody has commented that we still have not gotten a prize pack version of Secret Box. I think it's
but we have multiple
pack.
Prime Catchers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it is a factor of like when the Pokemon Company decides to make these, because Secret Box, it's really, really good, but I can't put my finger on when it really popped off in the meta. And it may have been that like whatever the cutoff for this wave and that maybe there was like oh dang, we missed it. But I would be wildly surprised if it is not in Prize Pack 8 at this point, because it is, I think it's the only, I think people said, I could be wrong, but the only A spec, or at least relevant A spec, that has not received a Prize Pack, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, definitely relevant.
Yeah.
That's for sure, because Secret Box is very expensive now. Night Stretcher is being reprinted in there.
Oh, yeah.
In the Prize Pack.
Yeah, I will say, if you want to get your hands on Night Stretchers, having pulled many myself, if you need more Night Stretchers, don't buy singles. Just go to your locals, open Prize Packs, and you'll probably get them.
Yeah, support your locals. Attend locals. Get Prize Packs.
Jake, that brings us to the end of our news cycle. Now let us embark upon a journey of self-discovery. No,
Self-discovery.
no, we Jake and I were like thinking like, hey, what are we going to talk about this time? Because we're going to save Worlds discussion for next week. But the question was, what else can we talk about this week? And there's a little thing that's been popping around in my brain, which is the question of if you were to change the Pokemon trading card game. That could be the rules, it could be tournament structures, but if you were to make a fundamental changes to the game, because now we, both of us, have spent a lot of time playing other games. Question is, what would we change? And we can talk about that, and then people can let us know in Discord how right or wrong we are, which I'm very
Or
excited
just provide your own opinions on things that you would change. Yeah.
So I will kick it off, Jake, to set the stage. And the first thing I want to talk about broadly is prize cards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to give everybody a small history lesson on trading card games because
Write this down. This will be on the exam.
this will be on the exam. So the Pokemon trading card game came out a long time ago, right? In Japan, it launched in 1998. And at that time, that was like this weird 90s golden age of trading card games. Magic had come out in 94. You'd had a whole wave of other IP card games that had come out in the years since, and Pokemon was effectively riding that wave. So when they designed the game, there weren't a lot of what I would call like rules or like ways that you go about designing a good card game. So the idea of prizes initially, I think, made sense to people, right? How do we incentivize people to knock out their opponent's Pokemon? Well, if you knock out their Pokemon, then you get prize cards. And when you've taken all your prize cards, you win. So like it's tied into the win condition and it all makes sense, right? But the way that most modern card games work, you do not get extra cards when you start winning. It's crazy, right? Like, Jake, how does Bandai do it in One Piece?
One Piece, if you're losing, you get more cards.
Exactly. Your life.
Gundam, if you're losing, you probably get more cards.
Yeah. In Digimon, you don't get the cards, but the card effectively fights whatever is attacking it. So in theory, the thing that attacked it might also get destroyed. So there's like a potential exchange of value. So a lot of these games today have a balancing mechanic built in where it's like, hey, even though you are winning by doing this, you are giving your opponent more resources. And the prize mechanic, I would argue, is not that. On top of that, it has created this whole problem of key cards being prized or multiples of key cards being prized, which sometimes makes for non-games. So, Jake, I have a variety of different things that I would change about prizes. I think that's the place that I would start first if I was redesigning the card game. First thing I would do is change the rules so that either all players may look at their prizes before the game starts at a bare minimum. If you're going to keep prizes around, everybody gets to look at their prizes. And we don't have any more of this nonsense about prize checking that takes 3 minutes per player.
I agree.
Are you signed on? Are you bought in? Have I sold you on this change, Jake?
I would be fine with doing like a gentleman's agreement. But I do also, I'm like on both sides because like I do feel good about like saving time within a game, but I also really think that prize checking is a skill right now in the Pokemon trading card game, and knowing your prizes can give you a competitive advantage within the game that I think is helpful. But I think like the elongated turn is to enforce that like disparity between like different individuals about the quality of prize checking, or if they really prize check at all. So I don't know, like I think it's one of those changes that I wouldn't be mad at. I wouldn't be upset at, and I think it would be fine on a local level.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the big stage, I don't know, I don't really have a problem with it too much. But I do wish that it wouldn't take as long as a viewer.
Yeah. Can I offer
It's really complicated.
Can I offer you a counter to add back in that sense of competitive advantage and thoughtfulness?
Mm-hmm.
Every player's prize cards are face up. And that way you get to see what your prize, you get to see what you take if it's a key card you need, and your opponent gets to know what card you put in your hand.
How is that? How is that a counter to what I said though? That's, I guess, my question.
Well, because your thought was that like if you just look at your prizes, it removes the competitive aspect of people who are good at prize checking versus those who are not. This
Yes.
way, you at least give your opponent knowledge, and it's up to them to do with that information what they will. So good
Okay.
players will note, oh, they put this card in their hand, and they might remember that. And maybe they will play
Okay.
differently or keep that knowledge for maybe a later turn.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Like they should just reprint Town Map. Like if they want to do that.
I mean, yeah,
Like they should just reprint Town Map to just go face up prizes, I feel like. I don't know. I don't I do agree that like something fundamentally could change with prizes because I think like your point of like when the game first came out, it is much different than like what games are now. But I feel like that's kind of like what makes Pokemon so unique in like comparison to other card games. Like, One Piece is very similar to Gundam, and Gundam is similar to Hearthstone and stuff like that. Nothing compares to Pokemon, I feel like. Or at least not too many games that I've played compared to Pokemon. And I think that's kind of like part of the allure of Pokemon and how it is so different. It is backwards in some of those senses with prizes, and they still have like comeback mechanics, like things like Iono and N and you know stuff like that to be able to not deter your opponent from the win word, but to punish. That's the
yeah.
word. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think the Pokemon Company, especially the last few years, has done a good job of
Yeah.
designing around a win more, like a part of their game that like is kind of core and fundamental. I think they've done a good job. But yeah. Um, I think that's where I would leave it with prizes. I think there's a thought that I had about like, do we maybe even get rid of prizes altogether and move to a pocket-like thing where you just get points?
Oh no, I don't want to do that. No.
Yeah. I think that the feeling of taking cards, putting them in your hand is always like, I like that. Otherwise, it just turns into like Lorcana, sort of, where you're just counting up the lore or points that you're getting. And I'm like, it feels very lame.
Yeah, I'm just not about that.
So Jake, that's my pitch is that I would pitch a big change to how prizes are laid out at the beginning of the game or viewed by players. I'll open the floor to you now.
I think I said this last week after I played in the 1K that I went to. I wish the mulligan rule was different. It really, sorry, I was watching your cats
Cats
play
fighting.
together in the background. Yeah, that was funny. It feels really bad in Pokemon to get a starting hand where you just can't do anything, but you have to have that hand because you grabbed a basic Pokemon out of there, and at the beginning of the game or the like next turn whether you won or lost, because games are oftentimes just decided that quick, like because Pokemon is so consistent compared to a lot of other card games. It is very easy to determine who wins and who loses, especially when you miss a beat. Even with comeback potential with cards like we said, like Iono and stuff like that. So I would wish that Pokemon's mulligan rule was different. I like in other card games how you have an optional mulligan, right? You could maybe draw an even worse hand off of it, but that's the gamble that you take as the player. In that it's difficult though to try to offer a solution in that sense because unless you have like a judge mulligan,
Yeah.
like you can opt maybe right away for like a judge mulligan kind of thing, and you could just start out before you really do anything. You just start until you find a basic Pokemon. You find a basic Pokemon, put it in the active, shuffle the deck, and then you draw 6 cards. If you like it, you can keep it, put out your prizes, or if you don't like it, you could do a one-time like optional mulligan. That's like one way that I could see it. You could also like do a similar version to Magic where like if I draw 7 cards, I have a basic Pokemon, but I hate the hand, you could put it back into the deck, but then draw like 6 next turn. Do like a -1 kind of rule, and you could do it however many times you'll still have cards in hand. But like if let's say I have 7 and I have a basic Pokemon in there, but I hate it, put it back in the deck, draw 6. If there's no basic Pokemon in there, right? It's like a real mulligan. You can't start the game. You just put it back and draw 6 again. You don't go down to 5, right? Because that's like you literally can't play the game on that mulligan. But that could just be like too many potential mulligans that you do like in that. So I kind of like the judge idea first.
I mean,
it's really interesting though.
Sorry, my cats are going crazy. I have a thought. What if, Jake,
yeah,
this is going to address a little bit of both of our points. What if you had it where right now that you start the game with 7 cards in hand, 6 cards in prizes? What if you got to look at both sets and pick one?
No, because they're different amounts of cards.
Exactly. No, this is the point. You need to take all your prizes to win. If you really like the prize set of hands, you start with one less card, but you need one more prize to win the game. Or you could go 1 more card in hand, need 1 less prize to win the game.
Oh, so you either need 7 or 6 prizes.
There's a part of me that's like, that's kind of interesting. Of like, you have 2 hands to choose from, and as long as there's 1 basic Pokemon among them, you then don't have a choice, but you at least get 2. Because how many games, I can tell you, I've played a number of games where I've looked at my prizes after a bad draw and been like, if that was my hand, I would have been fine.
I don't know if I've ever thought about it in that way, but I've definitely like had games where like I just look at my starting hand and I just know that I lose.
Yeah,
like
fair.
I had a couple of, and it just Pokemon is so consistent compared to other card games where like, I hate that I'm going to bring up One Piece again, but
keep talking.
In One
I'm dealing
Piece,
with cats.
Yeah, your cats are awesome right now. In One Piece, if you have a terrible starting hand, well, if you take the first life right when your opponent attacks you, that could be something that can get you going, like in the game, because you put it in your hand. Where Pokemon, you are locked.
Yeah.
Like if you have a terrible start, you will have a terrible start outside of the top deck, right? So I just kind of wish like the mulligan would change because Pokemon is so consistent and so aggressive. Like, talk to any other like card game player, like give them Ultra Ball or Nest Ball to read for the first time. Like it is mind blowing sometimes. Or just give them like Professor's research. Yeah, to read.
Discard your hand, draw 7, and the people would be like, "This card is banned in every other card game." Straight.
Yeah, like Pot of Greed in Yu-Gi-Oh is just draw 2 and that card is banned. Yeah. So it's like I kind of wish that I don't know how I would fix the mulligan, but I feel like there would be like a optional mulligan in the game just simply because if you have a bad start, you're trash. And if you could just say like, oh, just build a more consistent deck, right? Just build a better deck. And you're totally right.
I mean, maybe
you're right.
Even toward bricks.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Like how many times have you watched on a stream game where a person just like bricks and then it's game over, or like they play like 2 turns and then they scoop go to the next game. And maybe that's just a skill as part of the game, especially in a best of 3 format, at like a regional or worlds or something that you just have to be more cognizant of, because it is a skill of knowing when to scoop in games, in my opinion, especially in a best of 3. So like, but I just that, man, it's not fun for either player really when your opponent just has a terrible game.
No, you feel bad. Like even if you thought you were going to win. I've had a game where I was at a League Cup. This was years ago. This was in 2019. I was playing, Charizard, Reshiram and Charizard, or I think I was playing actually the Pikachu and Zekrom. And
Pick a ROM.
yeah, and I was playing against somebody, and all they did was start like one tag team. They didn't see anything else. And then turn two, I just knock it out. And I'm like, sorry. And the
Yeah,
person
like
was
how
just
many
like,
times have you been? How many times have you faced against someone that donks you or like beats you like within 2 turns, and they're like, "My bad, man," and you're like, "What do you mean you're bad? Like you're just playing the game."
you didn't do
Nobody
anything.
has fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody has fun that way. But I also Pokemon in comparison, like Pokemon is the most consistent out there in terms of games and stuff like that. So I don't know how crazy the game would get if you could do like an optional mulligan. Like, would it become too consistent with the art? It would definitely lower the RNG factor
Yeah.
of just what card games inherently have. But now you put it to another level, and there's probably like a really good threshold of like how much RNG you want in the card game versus how much of like deck building and just skill like sequencing and stuff like that that you have in. And there's probably because I feel like if they wanted to change the mulligan, they probably would have done it a couple years ago, right? Like the supporter rule.
Yeah.
When they changed that. So
I do think
yeah,
that
it's probably
the current mulligan rules are designed to keep the game as fast as possible because it's simple, right? Do you have a basic? You keep the hand. If not, shuffle up and try again.
which I hate.
Which, like, yeah, like it can be very frustrating because sometimes you just open Blood Moon or Saluna and nothing, and you just are sitting there like, I can't even attack with this idiot because it's got like what 3 retreat costs, and I'm just stuck.
Yeah.
And
So it's like,
yeah.
so that's my gripe. But I mentioned that last week.
No, but I think it's a good thought experiment. I think for this, like, I don't know how to solve it either. I will say I agree with you on the point that, compared to other card games, outside of like a donk, I rarely feel with Pokemon like, oh my God, you just had the best hands ever constantly. Like in One Piece, there are some games where like I have like a decent game, but my opponent just draws every piece they need. And when they're only drawing one card a turn, it feels more unfathomable that they had such a good game. Whereas in Pokemon, it's like every turn, I almost expect you to have the optimal turn, and I have to play around that.
Like in Gundam or Pokemon or Digimon or whatever, like, by turn 3, you've seen like 4 cards. In Pokemon, by turn 3, you have 7 cards left in.
By turn 3, you're halfway through the game and your deck.
Yeah. So it's like, it's really interesting how like the game design is so vastly different that I just don't know if the mulligan, like changing the mulligan, like maybe the forced hand is just inherently good for the game and creates enough variance.
It does make opportunities for like if you have a bad matchup, but your opponent has a bad opening hand, you can actually win that matchup.
Yeah, exactly.
I only have one other one, Jake, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I would love for regionals to move to a best of one day one format. I'm sure I've said this before on the pod. I think they should move to a best of one day one, and they should move to the same style that China is using, where you bring 2 decks and you tell your opponent what your decks are. And then you, in secret, pick the one that you are going to play with the knowledge of the 2 decks your opponent has, and vice versa.
I think it would be really cool to have that 2-deck system for maybe just like, I don't know. I feel like you kind of have to run it for the whole way. I don't know if I want a best of one at a regional, especially on day one, because I like best of 3. I think there is a lot of skill in best of 3. I talked about, prize checking. I talked about scooping. You have like top level players that don't really struggle like many other people do in terms of time on best of 3 because they have like these other skills and things like that. So I don't know if I agree with that, but I would love the idea if like not every single regional, but maybe like 1 or 2 regionals a year, maybe even try it with a side event, like at Worlds or regionals, how they're trying like these GLC side events, like just have it as a side event, bring 2 decks, and have that kind of system that they did in that gigantic, absolutely ginormous, 4,000 people championship that they had. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I just think it would be cool for the Western. I think for Western players to experience more of the play style of Eastern play bases like China and Japan. Maybe not at every tournament. I think that's fair. But like, maybe pick 1 or 2 regionals a year where it's like, we're going to adopt, this new system and we're going to try it out. And I'm like, I think it would make people feel like really excited about, because it almost becomes a new meta. If you go best of 1 day 1, or you go 2 decks and you're like, oh, dang, like, what do I bring?
Yeah, I mean, they could even do a thing. Like, do you remember when COVID first started and they had that championship? They had the 16-player bracket with a bunch of like content creators and top-level players. I think they could honestly like do something like that where they had this like really cool invited championship series for fun, where they invited this like format of 2-deck style, and did something like that. I think that would just be so cool.
Yeah.
And they could promote it on live too, which they need to promote.
But yeah, those are our thoughts of if Jake and I were in charge, if somebody was paying us.
Well, you don't want me in charge. You don't want me in charge.
If somebody was paying us the big bucks for 1 day and then immediately realized the error of their ways, that's what we would change. Sound off in the Discord, in the comments. If you
I'd love to see some discussion. Yeah. Well, honestly, we should, you know what? We should like have challenges through the day of like, we should bring 2 decks and, we can, if you see us and you got 2 decks,
just like the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, the original Yu-Gi-Oh, where like you're just wandering around and somebody challenges you to a duel.
Yeah. You looked at me funny. Let's battle.
Honestly, that's actually just Pokemon. You just walk around and you make eye contact with one of us, and then the little swirl.
Exactly. Sean, is that all for you this week?
That's all.
That's going to be it for us here at the Metapod. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast that revolves around the evolving meta. Again, we'll talk about Worlds decks and our predictions next week. And until then, thank you so much for listening. See you later.